Okay, this is a quick vid for 2.10.3.5, 2.10.3.5, and the new features and changes in that. And you can get to the release notes, general hardware select release notes here, if you want to have a quick look at those. There have been some changes for a couple of MIDI devices, one of them the DJ2 Go 2 Touch MIDI, new arc I think it is. Had some sliders changed around so they more sort of natural to use. We've got some timeout timer stuff in options 2. I noticed the tooltips are wrong for them, so that'll be fixed next version. The MOX one, if you're transmitting for more than the configured seconds, then it'll stop MOXing or PTTing. And this ping one, from the client, it will try to ping that IP, and if unable for that amount of time, it will pull the MOX as well. We got Father Christmas digging the snow away down there, I see. He won't show up after the 26th. Okay, amp view will restore the size on when it's set to show on startup. So linearity, yeah, amp view. If that's configured to show on startup, then it will remember its size as well now. So that should be working. A couple of more cat commands for quick record and quick playback. Done by Sigi, DH1KLM, ZZQA and ZZQB, which are documented here. There's a new option in antenna filters section, force attenuation on TX to 31 when drive or tune power is increased and pure signal is on. So there was the case where you could be running low power and using pure signal, and then you drag the drive up, increase the power, and you might see ADC overload and sort of lots of mess across the waterfall and the spectrum and all that. That tries to minimize that by applying lots of transmit attenuation when you make a change to the drive or tune slider. The color option is back on the text there, so if we go to appearance, RX display, that DBM text there, you can change it now. So that's there. Option for multimeter containers. So multimeters, we can add one here. Put a signal strength in there, and you can configure this up and create more, you know, as you desire. There's an option to turn them off now and save your settings and then bring them back if you want them. So that's there. Let's have another look down the list. VSQL from Andromeda slider window. So if we go into collapse mode, put the Andromeda buttons on, and then do the gain form, I think it is. Can never find this gain form. Yes, there we are. So we've got squelch on, it just makes it that sort of blue colour, and then VSQL. And of course, if you've got that up but you've got expanded mode on, you can see how they that's RX2, isn't it? So yeah, you can see how it works. So that's implemented finally. There's this new CM ASO system, which there's some documents in the install folder and on the start menu for this. So have a read and look at the section in the audio sub-forum on the Apache Labs community forums. What it allows you to do is, instead of using the internal radio codecs, it's now using ASO in place of that, an ASO device, so we can get the audio and everything back from the radio and into the radio without using VAC, which is pretty good. It frees up VAC for digital devices, digital comms and all that sort of stuff that you want to do. So worth checking that out. Yeah, someone in red might show up. There he is again. Stop on the waterfall when you're TXing, so it's an option in here, display RX1, stop on TX, and if you've got the split and the second receiver is showing, then you can stop that waterfall as well. We got status bar icons for TCI, CAT and all that sort of stuff, so you can hover over these and it'll tell you a bit about them. For serial, if you've got a serial port configured, any one of these configured to use a COM port, it will show up as a red dot. So if we do the fourth one, it'll show up as a red dot. But if it's enabled, then it will be green. So that's just the setup on that, and then networking, it shows we're using TCI CAT, TCP IP CAT, TCI, and N1MM. So those are all showing up as little icons. There's an option in option 2. Options 2, auto power upon startup, which will, when Thetis starts up, a couple of seconds after, it will power the radio on, or try to. We have buttons in display RX1, these equal buttons, which are on RX1 and RX2, and what they do is copy the settings here, the low and high level, to all other bands. And of course, if you're using some of these options here, which change the min and max and all this sort of stuff, be wary of that. But it takes the current values that are in there and applies it to all other bands. So that's new. Couple of fixes. Lin waterfall palettes are fixed. Changing the filter, transmit filter in here was broken because it was trying to validate it whilst bringing up the change, so that's now sorted. That's fixed. Some little rework of thin notches. A total rewrite of this code here that was in about 6 months ago under OC control. This stuff here, USB BCD serial cable stuff, so total rewrite on that, so that perhaps needs testing. What else? Yes, the issue for diversity, where you could have these locked and then you'd change band and it would take these locked values and write it into the new band, which was obviously wrong, so that's fixed. Menu bar has had its size locked, so it won't scale with display anymore, cutting off the tops of these boxes, so that should be resolved. Scope time has had a lot of rework. There potentially are still some issues with it, but it's getting better. It's now moved to milliseconds, so it's the amount of time it takes to get from the left to the right. So if we put on scope mode, you will see that it is taking one elephant. So yeah, it's taking a second to get across there. So that's had a rework. But there probably are some issues, like when you're going extremely fast. It's not necessarily correct, but it's as good as it can be right at this moment. Protocol 1 MAC address is now correctly shown. There was a little error with that. And there was an issue with the zoom to band stuff as well, and that's been looked at. WAV file recording. When you do a quick record or use the WAV system to do it, the record volumes are normalized, so they're not based on this slider anymore. If you have the slider at 0, it'll be silent, but anywhere else it'll be a normalized volume, and of course if you've got mute on, then it won't record it either. So that's been done. Finder is now using a whole bunch of threads to speed up the gathering of data at launch. Skin server, appearance skin servers, so we can go to let's go to Ernst's, the blue skin server will now apply the skin once it's downloaded, or try to apply the skin. Of course you don't have to download them each time. You can just use general and click in there to pick the ones that you've downloaded. What else? Yeah, SQL has been reworked. Okay, protocol for the radio. General hardware select. Used to be a 3-state button here, a checkbox that you could cycle through, and I removed that and turned it into 3 what they call radio buttons. So it makes it a lot easier to see what's happening, and it will automatically import your old settings, scrap that date entry out the database, and then start using these new ones. VFO sync in diversity has been set up to mirror the VFO sync in the front end, so that's been changed. Scope time's been done, normalizing passband. Yeah, so if we let's go to estimated noise floor. Let's turn the averaging on a minute. So if we cycle through here, we cycle on this on this info bar, you can see that currently it's thinking that the signal to noise ratio, passband estimated signal to noise ratio is whatever, couple of dB. But if we go into here, options 2, these are now new. So if you want to get an area where it's you know, close to your noise floor or wherever, you can hit this button and it will attempt to get this somewhere around 0. So it will be of use then when you want to read it, and of course those values go across to the multimeter passband SNR as well, and you can just reset them. This one will become available when RX2 is visible, but you can change these by hand as well, and they're not linked to the noise floor anymore, so this probably needs to be in a separate little area here, not on this noise floor one, but I didn't get around to doing that. And a few more adjustments by Sigi DK1LM on the layout and a few other things. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much it for this version. So not much more to add really. So there we are. Let's go back to my favourite one, OH3 IDE, the blue. So there we are. Okay, hope everybody has a nice Christmas and holidays and all that good stuff, and a new year. Happy New Year when it comes around. Alright, cheers very much everybody.